Hey, now welcome. You are listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation, our favorite radio station. And we are creating millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. And that means you. And I am so excited because it is smart money season, smart money month, smart money week. We are being smart about our money, or money smart, whichever one it is. We are doing it, and we are dealing with this thing 24/7, 365. We are not taking a day off in today's times with all that is going on, and literally the things that we've had to witness over the past year, and just keep getting reminded of the injustice. Yesterday was really the past couple of days have been difficult, and I am appalled at what's happening on so many different levels, and I am saddened, angry, and just all of the things. And I'm not going to say but. I'm going to allow those feelings to be what they are. I'm going to say and we have to keep moving, and we have to keep fighting, and we have to keep speaking up and speaking out for justice. Because, see, one of the things that we need to understand and realize, and the state of Georgia showed us this all too well, is that we have the power to put our vote to use, and we have the power to not only make that vote go to use, but to change things. And unfortunately, some of the changes that are being discussed right now in terms of things that are impacting easy access to voting, that really are, really just a throwback to all that we've overcome and a slap in the face in so many ways. What it's shown us is that when people mobilize and get the right people in office, then they can change things to their benefit. So I think it's about time that we start changing things to our benefit. I think it's about time that we start working the system. I think it's about time that we start working the money system. We start working the income stream system. We start working the banking system. And we really start to delve into what it's going to take in order for us to learn the things that we don't know, so that we can get the things that we don't have, so we can pass these things on to the people who we love in order to create generational wealth for decades and centuries to come. So much so that I am, later on today, I am talking with one of our professors in New Wealth University, and she is teaching a Build Your Wealth Portfolio boot camp. And although I have been an investment advisor and had my investment licenses, you have to keep up with the new things. Coinbase did a direct listing today on the New York Stock Exchange. And I really like what they're talking about, although I am not literate in cryptocurrencies or any of those things, and I don't invest in them yet. And I just say yet, not to mean that I am. I just don't. I might change my mind. I don't know, but I don't know enough about it to do it. But Coinbase, what I do like about what they have talked about with their direct listing is that they did not want to have, two listings, because typically when a company goes public, there is an underwriter, excuse me, and there are a group of investors who get in on that company and get to buy the stock at one price, let's say $40 a share, and then the day that it goes public and it hits the stock market, the very first trade might be $100 a share. And I have bought stock that way. I bought Airbnb. The private institutional investors got it for one price, and then when it hit the market, I got it for another price. Now, my strategy is a little different. I don't have to go buy it right away. I waited until it got low enough. I bought the dip, and then I was able to see it go up. But with Coinbase, it's a direct listing, so it's straight to the market. So everybody gets an equal opportunity to get access to the potential growth. So, and I am not giving stock advice. I don't give stock advice. I'm just sharing because we all have to get an education. I said all that to say that we teach how to invest in the stock market, part 1, part 2, And then we have a Build Your Wealth Portfolio boot camp. And in the boot camp, they are learning about, through simulated training, they are learning how to trade options and just some more sophisticated things. So we need to keep our heartbeat at the pulse of the economy and knowing what's going on if we want to be able to change things from an infrastructure level. We must have financial power if we also want to have rights. We must have financial power if we want to, steer legislation in a way that is fair and is equitable. We must have equitable. We must have financial power if we want good schools. We must have financial power if we want our public servants, like our military and our police officers and our teachers, to not only serve us, but to also be taken care of. We must have financial power in order to do that. So I want to, of course, I've got one of our favorite guests coming up in the next segment, but I wanted to just remind us of the things that we need to do. We still need to spend less money. Okay, I know everybody's getting happy. It's warm outside. I have had family members come into town and it's like, California's a little cold. Okay, well, relax, all right? I know it's hotter where you are, but we just having a chilly morning. But everybody's excited. Everybody's going outside. And when you go outside, you spend money. I know, because I was in the house for a year. I spent nothing. I mean, I could literally go a whole month and probably not even spend $50, literally. I mean, of course, outside of groceries and things like that, but I wasn't spending money on anything. As soon as it starts getting hot and they start letting things open, here I am. I'm outside. I'm spending money. I'm spending money at the restaurant. I need a new pair of tennis shoes. I need this. I need that. So we got to spend less money. Now, I wasn't spending more money than I make. I used to do that. Don't do that anymore. But we still got to focus on spending less money, okay? 1 + 1 = 2. If your stuff adds up to 10, it's never, ever going to get into 2. So we want to focus on that, spending less money. Spend less money than you make. If you get a raise and raise your expenses, you are no longer going to have a raise. You will have more stress, more bondage, more debt, okay? Do not get a $10,000 raise and buy a $20,000 car. Do not get a $50,000 raise and buy a $200,000 house. Don't do it, all right? Spend less money. If you're having trouble with your budget, live by the 10, 10, 30, 50. The first 10% you tithe. The next 10% you save. 30% is cash in your pocket for incidentals. Your incidentals are things like groceries, gas, hair, nails. If it doesn't fit, get rid of it. If you need to buy that purse, first you need to ask yourself, does it pass the universal purse test? Which is this: if the purse costs more than the amount of money you can keep in it on a regular basis, leave it on the rack. I know I've been saying this for over 10 years and it has not sunk in yet. That's why I got to keep saying it, okay? We don't want to buy deals at the stake, which are items that we buy in this century that aren't worth the ashes we could have burned them to back when they used to, burn people at the stake. I know that wasn't a good thing, but the example is, even if you tried to burn this stuff at the stake, it's not even worth the ashes. So we want to make sure that we are not being persuaded subliminally by all of the fancy things that are out there that we think we need to get. There was and I'm just saying, there was a Tesla Mesla. Tesla had people buying their cars online. You giving them your bank account and they took out 2 payments. Now, it's one thing if your payment is $50. It's another thing if your payment is $50,000. I don't know who's going around passing out bank account information for $50,000 anything. Anyway, if you're going to buy a car, you send them the money. Send them a wire, take them a cashier's check, but don't let them withdraw the money out of your account. All those people, many of them are still trying to get their money back. But why buy a Tesla if your car is driving? Why buy any car if the car that you're already driving is in good condition, okay? So we want to minimize our consumerism, and we want to then take that last 50% and it's in your checking account for your bills. If you don't have enough money, then you must subtract. Subtract what? Whatever's in the way. You might have to get a cheaper place to live, a cheaper car, less bills. Take that kid out of private school. You may have to do some of those things. And if you have more than enough money, then that is not a license to just go spend more money. If you have more than enough money, you got to eliminate the middleman between you and your wealth, and it's called interest. Interest is earning the money that you could earn. You want to take that money, pay off your debt. So now your money can work harder for you than you can ever work for it. You listen to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm Lynn Richardson. Go to asklynn.org. Join the Home Buyers Club. Get in the class. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. WVON.
Get better every day intentionally with Lynn's List member attorney Serena Williams. Whether you need a business coach, an estate plan, a family mediator, or an annual legal checkup, attorney Serena Williams can help you move past your business and financial doubts and get better every day intentionally. You can find attorney Williams on Lynn's List at www.lynnmillionaire.com. That's www.lynnmillionaire.com, or by calling 888-LYNN-123. That's 888-596-6123.
Hey, now welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation, our favorite radio station. We are creating millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. And that means you. And it is the Money Smart Week, Smart Money Week, Smart Money Month, year, 24/7, 365. We are on it. We talked about spending less money. Why? So that we can start to make our money work for us. Your money can work harder for you than you could ever work for it. And the only person that I can think of that we have seen for literally decades probably work a little harder than money can work, because she's everywhere. She the rapper, DJ, actress, producer, on every award show. Have you heard anybody on every award show? BET, NAACP, Emmys, you name it, she's there. The Grammys, the NBA finals. I mean, just all kind of things. So without further ado, of course, to help us talk about streams of income, getting more money, and making your money work for you is my friend and business partner and sister, your legend, our icon, MC Light. Welcome to the Millionaires Roundtable, MC Light.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this invitation to sit with you, Lynn.
Yes.
Hello, to all the people listening in, aiming to get that education.
Okay, now see, you just messed it up right there. We trying to get them on the right track, and you coming up with the wrong words.
Education.
Yeah. Of course, everybody knows you.
No, it's a pleasure to be here with you today, because I understand your mission. And, you liken yourself to Harriet Tubman. You're going to bring them through, even if they crying and screaming, and you're going to drag them through to the promised land.
Yeah, the only thing, she used to shoot people when they didn't act right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that, of course. And it's,
Thank
but,
God.
but can you imagine being on the road with her on the Underground Railroad? She trying to make you free. And this is a sensitive time, so guns are no laughing matter. And we certainly, I don't even want to break down and cry. I did yesterday a couple of times about that, so it's no laughing matter. But, Harriet Tubman is known for, in her loving, demeanor. If they didn't want to get on the road to freedom, she would pull out her rifle, and, hopefully they got the lesson fast enough that they didn't have to go through that too often. But, no, I don't do that, but I will harass you to the end. I will keep knocking. I will keep talking.
Peace.
You said what?
You said to the end.
Yeah, I will keep going. But we're talking about spending less money so that you can make your money start to work for you, because money will work for you harder than you can work for it. And I just have to say, because, you have such a great story. For you, this all started out with a dream. Your mother planted a seed. You were prepared. You were ready. I'm not going to tell the whole story. I want you to tell that. But, growing up, we used to watch you on television. We used to watch you like we used to watch Different Strokes, stuff like that. Girl, you've been around, okay? We used to watch you like we used to watch Good Times and the Jeffersons.
Oh my good! Wait a minute. They were before me. I'm sorry.
I didn't say at the same time. I just said, we like that. Just like you watched, some of your legends. We watched you on television, and so growing up and I didn't know that you all were just as poor as we were. I thought y'all were on TV and y'all had it together. but hip hop was born out of poverty. The fires in the Bronx got so overwhelming that our people started to talk about what they were going through to music, and there you go, hip hop was born. But what I often thought about at that time was that you great, rich, famous, wealthy people all got together and talked about how to make your money grow. I thought you all were big investors and that you own lots of land. And, I just had this vision. No, and it didn't, and skin color didn't matter. I just thought it was. And so coming into the entertainment industry, I realized that it's quite the opposite. Many people who are in the forefront are not dealing with their wealth in a way that, I dreamed as a little girl growing up, and are just as at the, we're all the same, essentially, in so many ways. And of course you were advanced. Russell was advanced. There were many of you that were advanced and had different things and had put a different kind of a legacy in place. But can you talk about that? I mean, growing up in hip hop and being around, everybody. You know everybody, okay? I don't know any. Tina Marie. Who knows Tina Marie?
I have such fond memories of Tina Marie. First off, yes, the poverty was definitely something that we all had to work through in the early stages of hip hop, and everybody had some kind of message that they wanted to give out. I was into the message, which was Melly Mel, and he gave this like pictorial journey through what the Bronx looked like. Broken glass everywhere, people pissing in the station. No, they just don't care.
Come on now, wait a minute now. Where's my beatbox? Oh,
he painted this very vivid picture of the Bronx, and I had never been to the Bronx, and so for me it was even chilling to listen to it. Growing up in Brooklyn and sometimes being in Spanish Harlem, it wasn't the scene that was happening in the Bronx that catapulted all of those artists to want to grab the microphone and speak truth to power. But for me, you're right. I think you say this thing all the time that fake people aren't rich and rich people aren't famous. And there's something to be said about that, because what we have to remember is the artist, although they can get out and create and do lots of things, first off, may not have the money mindset. That's one thing. And if you don't have a money mindset crew or group of people around you, it's really hard to stay focused on what is the plan outside of doing your art form, because most artists will tell you that they'll work for free. Unfortunately, they got to make a living and pay for things in life, and that's why it becomes an issue. But outside of that, most people that write or paint or act or whatever it is, they love it so much that they do it anyway, even without a check. So, and that's a problem when you've got to survive and you've got family and all of those things. But, for me, what's disappointing is that a lot of times artists per se will hook up with people who are conniving, who are leeching, who will string them to, even if they recognize that artist may need help, specifically in the area of addiction, they will not push that art to do what they need to do, because that means they will be absent from the scene of making money. That to me is such a disservice, so dishonest, it's so mean. But with an artist, you have all of the people that make this machine work. And honestly, the more people you can make money, the more powerful you can become, which then leaves a famous person in the state of not being rich, and a rich person getting richer, but not having to be famous, but just involved with famous.
Wow. So let me just back up a minute. So you're saying let me just back up a minute. You're saying that there are people in the lives of artists and entertainers who won't push you higher. They kind of go with whatever the flow is for fear that they may get left out. And so even if it's to your demise, talk to us about that.
We can take a look.
Wait. You know what? That's good. We are actually, we got to take a break. This is hot. This is Money Smart Week, Smart Money Week. We're 24/7, but we have to take a break. Go to asklyn.org. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. WVON.
Are you an exceptional real estate or financial services professional? Do you have a business or service that can improve the lives of others? You may qualify to serve the world as a member of Lynn's List. Visit www.lynnmillionaire.com. That's www.lynnmillionaire.com or call 888-LYNN-123 extension 5. That's 888-LYNN-123 extension 5 for more details.
Hey, now welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation, our favorite radio station. And we are creating millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. And that means you. MC Light is here with me today. We got over the spending less money so we can get more money, so we can make the money work for us. And most famous people aren't rich. Most rich people aren't famous. And you've certainly shared that perspective so well, like in our last segment. But, I can't help but to go back to this whole concept, because one of the things that I said often about, let's talk about the whole R. Kelly piece for just a minute. He was certainly responsible and is responsible for his actions. There were a whole lot of enablers. I don't understand that. That's the part I don't understand. There were a whole lot of enablers. There were a whole lot of parents who let their child go on stage with, he calls himself the Pied Piper. Do y'all know what the Pied Piper does? Come on now, read your Little Red Riding Hood books. The Pied Piper lured children away from their parents. Good children. He got mad at the state and they wouldn't pay him for something or whatever it was, and he lured the children away. It was so interesting when Robin Hood, when the big fiasco, and we're going to pull this all back to the stock market in just a moment, but when Robin Hood had the big thing with the traders and the Reddit and the GameStop and the AMC and the big institutional investors lost money, I said, do y'all know what Robin Hood means? We're going to take from the rich and give to the poor. So, it's like this thing that people name themselves what they say they're going to do, and then everybody's shocked when they do it. But this whole enabling piece of people in the entertainment industry, why does that happen? Because it would seem that you'd want the entertainer. That's how I've always handled you and anybody I've been in contact with. I want to see you better. So what is it?
Well, you're a different type of person, and I'm not saying you're the only one. There are great people out there that are in entertainment that help to shape and define, an artist's, who an artist is and the type of work that an artist contributes. However, there is a whole nother side, which are the blood-sucking leeches that would rather see you with an extreme flaw like addiction so that they can remain in control and never be found out that what it is that they have to add to the management of your career is nothing, is zero. They don't want to be exposed for not really bringing the goods and not really having the skill set. To remember the guy that got busted with Britney Spears crushing up pills in her food. They were even lucky that they were able to find that out. But I think what happened is when she went off the cuff and shaved her hair and banged in the glass in the car and acted, like a maniac, that was brought on by medication that she didn't even know she was being fed. So, I'm not saying that's the only reason why she acted out, but I'm sure that is one of the reasons, because here you have a medication that wasn't prescribed. And you don't know the state of someone's body when you give that to them. You don't know if that's going to make them depressed or manic or whatever it's going to bring about. So she had one of those guys that was making money from her. And this is why the father had to come in and say, hey, whether you like me or not, now I'm coming in because now we've got people that we don't know, taking control over Brittany's finances and so on and so forth.
Wow. I mean, you said you're not sure if that's why she was acting crazy. I could tell you that's definitely a reason because, if I catch you on a day with too much coffee, you bouncing off the wall. So, and so am I. Yeah. It's like, now, have you had too much coffee today? And let me tell you, that's about as much as you're going to get out of MC Light coffee. That's as far as we go. Because, my kids used to tease, the light's coming over. Okay, let's go get some grass so we can feed her. Because she don't eat nothing, don't drink nothing. And coffee is about as far as it gets.
Get some grass. That's funny. But you know what? Not only Britney Spears, let's think of Amy Winehouse. Went to the same bad.
Yes.
She needed help. People told her she needed him. He's all right.
Your connection, like we're having a bad connection here. Forgive us for a moment. Like, can you say that again about Amy Winehouse? Because I remember watching that documentary.
Okay, can you hear me okay now?
Yes,
So with Amy Winehouse, she was told she needed to go to rehab. She didn't really want to go, so she asked the one man that she knew would go along with anything as long as he stayed in position to run her business, and that was her dad. And her dad told her, no, you don't need rehab. You're not an addict. And the next thing you know, she ODs. It's like she went away to an island to get away to decompress, and he came uninvited to convince her that she needed to go on a tour that he was going to make more money from, and so were a lot of other people. Money can make you do some crazy things, I'll tell you that. But, I'm only giving my opinion today because this is the life that I live in entertainment, in the music biz, in the acting biz, and going back to all famous people are rich, all rich people are you launched off the about.
Like, I'm going to jump in here because it's really bad. I mean, you have just said some things that have really kind of blown my mind, just in terms of the degree to which the enabling, but it's not even just enabling. It's almost as if it's intentional sabotage. It is intentional destruction. It is intentional. And, I often said that, perhaps in the 60s when African Americans started coming up through Motown and TV and film, perhaps we didn't know. So back then, Shaka Khan tells her story of, taking something to get her up to go on stage, then taking something to get her down to come off. And did they just think that was the way that the artist was going to operate? Did they have a clue that these people would actually become damaged and addicted?
I don't think they cared. I think for the moment they wanted what they wanted, and that was to be in control. Who wouldn't want Billie Holiday coming especially for a low self-esteem dude who is just mooching and munching off of somebody else? Who wouldn't want Billie Holiday, who's lauded and adored and admired by thousands and millions of people, asking him that she has to be reduced to asking him to bring her the drugs? He feels like he's in a position of power, and that's what a lot of them do, is they want to keep their artists small.
Wow. And because they keep the artists small, then it's a money train for a while, but when that money train stops, I was out having lunch outside with my mask, and a good friend of ours who's in the entertainment industry kind of stopped by with his mask on. He wasn't even gonna say nothing at first. I was like, if you don't speak, I know, because I was going out acting like I ain't see people either. Because see, you don't even know people's COVID etiquette. You know, people still want to hug and fist bump and all of that. There is no hugging here, okay? We're not shaking hands. We're not doing any of that. But anyway, let me get back to the story. We wound up talking, and he was saying that he had pretty much been in the house for a year. I said, I've been in the house for more than a year. And the number of people, and like you've been in the house for a year, there are a lot of entertainers who went under. Like COVID didn't just take them through, but when the touring shut down, there was no resources, there was no reserves, there was nothing else to fall back on. And so, you know, when we talk about investing, the whole idea is that these entertainers are on the road, and it's a money train. But then when they, you know, kind of use them up and take so much control and get them addicted and, you know, all these other things, and not just addicted to drugs, addicted to whatever is out there. I mean, we see the ones who addicted to power and feeding them young girls that they're not supposed to have, and just so many things, and how it really begins to eat up and mess up the legacy. But all this time, like I said, I thought you all were a part of the elite, building wealth. And, you know, there's this vision. You see the lifestyles of the rich and famous in their big homes, and you think they've just got it made for life. That's what you begin to think.
Lynn, what is an atrocity is that we all play a part in this big farce. We all play a part in acting as if we're being paid what we deserve.
Woo!
Which is terrible, because we're leading the public to believe we're actually, I'm sorry to say it, but we're lying for the people who hire us.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't want to say in all cases.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases. I mean, case in point, that whole thing happened with what's the sister? She ready. Her name is escaping me right now. The comedian.
You know, I don't know anybody, child. If your name ain't Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor, honey, I don't know.
You are crazy. The comedian that off with a girls trip, and she's dating Common right now.
Oh, Tiffany Haddish.
Yes,
Tiffany Haddish.
yes.
Okay.
Right. She came to the scene and said how that award, you know, this big award organization that does a fantastic show that they spend a lot of money on, wanted her to host for nothing, and said it would be good for her.
Wow.
So you see what I'm saying? So now she decided not to, because, you know, she's getting paid from everywhere else. Why wouldn't she get paid from the Grammys?
You just told who it is.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, they came out, they made a statement, they apologized. The organization was under different leadership at that time, which is, you know, okay, they've replaced the leadership there, which is great. But the truth is, had she done it, we all would have been behind the scenes thinking, oh, she must have got a nice little check from that.
Right.
But the truth is, it's not always done like that.
Wow. So they're making the money and not necessarily passing it through to the folks who are in front of the camera and making everybody come to the camera. It is something. We got to talk about what's going on in the stock market today, Coinbase, because all of this is leading to something. You got to get control. Don't be under control. Get in control. Submit to the Holy Spirit. Let him lead you, guide you, find what you love to do, and so that your money can work for you. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson. MC Light is with us. We have to take a break. Go to asklynn.org. Ask a question, sign up for a class, and we'll be right back. Don't turn that dial. WVON.
Sync your life with Denise Wiggins and Lip Sync Cosmetics. Do you need extra cash? Want to start a home-based business known around the globe? Do you want to join a sisterhood that is growing by leaps and bounds? Then become a Lip Sync Cosmetic ambassador. Visit www.lipsyncosmetics.com. That's www.lipsyncosmetics.com and submit your ambassador application today.
Hey, now welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON, and we have just been on it this morning. We got to hit this thing and get to where we're trying to go, MC Light. The whole point today was being able to get our money to work harder for us than we work for it. And it looks like in the early days and even now in entertainment, unfortunately, some entertainers have been working hard and still haven't seen the breakthrough and the come through. What was it that changed for you, that shifted you into a wealthy mindset, wanting to go beyond performing on stage, but really wanting to build a legacy that included a financial legacy? Because you have clearly built, you will be here until the end of time as one of the pioneers. You are on the top 5 in many people's lists, male or female or otherwise. So you did that. But to go beyond that, to be here for so long, to be relevant, and to really be in a position where you are getting your money to work harder for you than you work for it. What was that shift for you, and how did that come to pass?
Oh, goodness. I think I just wanted more, and I was able to use other people's stories and journeys as an inspiration for myself. When I would see how Russell's organization ran and Will Smith's organization, and even LL, back in the days I did an episode of In the House with Clifton Powell. He and I played these bad guy, robber, drug dealer kind of people. And during the breaks, LL and I would talk. He wound up producing 2 records on that album that I had come out that year. But more importantly, I saw his hustle. I saw that he was on set of his own sitcom, that he was flying out to New York on the weekend to finish his album. He was, here and there with his, he had a record label at the time. He just had an enterprise going. And I felt like it sparked something in me to want to have that. Now, wanting that and being able to attain it is a whole different situation. And so all of that didn't come into play until the guru, until, Lynn Richardson came and, by way of nonprofit. But then when we talked about the business and what was possible, it was only until I really understood what it took behind the scenes. I think I was more into the fascia, more into what things looked like as opposed to what they really were. And that took, working hard. That took strategy sessions. That took planning meetings. That took a roundtable of thought leadership, of influencers. And so I had to get an education for what it takes to actually be where I am today. Outside of that, I just wanted to be there but didn't know how to get there.
Wow. But you said that it took education and that kind of thing, but it's not always pretty working with you, okay?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. You my sister to the end, okay? And beyond.
Well, let me tell you what the biggest problem is. Look, the biggest problem with me, I bet, is that I think I know, but I don't.
Now, so, y'all heard us say it. Come on now.
See, this is the thing, because I tried to do my own business when I was 15. I remember I tried to have a shoe shine business when I was about 12. And my uncle went to work. He was a chef at the hospital, and he left his shoe shine box, and he saw me eyeing it, and he was like, leave that thing alone. Don't you do anything with that. I ignored him. I took that shoe shine box down to the boulevard in Rockaway, Queens, and I called myself. No sooner than I got out there, one of his friends called him and said, man, your niece is out here trying to shine some shoes. But that was my first attempt at my own business, and it never stopped. So regardless of whether they were successful or not, it never deterred me from wanting it. But now, because I have a Lynn Richardson, I can, make those dreams come true.
Child, from the south and the west side of Chicago. Baby, I had to pull out all of my sides on you, okay? I had to pull out the country, all of it. The Ivy League, baby, let me tell you. And it has been, but I'm saying that because the truth is, for me, I need people to get me in shape. You know, I had to, I was a hot mess, a hot one, okay? So the point is, if you want to get somewhere, and I don't know anybody who has got anywhere who didn't have somebody basically kicking their butt all the way there. You know, I told one of the artists that we worked with for a very long time, because they told me that I needed to improve my people skills. And I said, well, when the people improve, so will my skills. You know, I'm an overachiever. If you good, I'm great. If you bad, I'm worse. It's up to you. Whatever you do, I'm going to do more of it, okay? So if you act a fool, guess what you got on your hands? If you act like you got some sense, then we going in the right direction. But we're going to eventually get there. But the truth is, you know, what I told her, I said, if you want to be ordinary, you need to get somebody else.
Yes.
Because as long as I'm here, I'm going to keep kicking your butt to greatness. And we're going to fuss all the way. You know, what used to be so funny is, you know, because I'm a minister, ordained and all that. And sometimes we get in a circle and pray. And one of you all will have just made me so irritated. And I start talking about you to God, talking about God, talking about you to God right there in the prayer. Jesus, please keep these hoodlums from such and such and blah, blah, blah. And I would say it out loud and everybody would start laughing. And, you know, in those moments, it would make a tense moment funny. And then we keep moving and keep going. But I said all that to say, as much as you talked about how many of the entertainers, unfortunately, were mishandled. The truth is, you are an artist, and you're a little difficult to handle sometimes. And I think it takes a strong team around each and every one of us. So somebody's listening to this, and you too much to handle in your house. Somebody's listening to this, you too much to handle at your job. Somebody's listening to this, you too much to handle in your classroom. The teacher got to keep on saying the same thing to you 52,000 times. And it takes people who love us, but who also going to discipline us. And so to that effect, like, we got to come back tomorrow because we didn't even talk about the stock market. We just led up to the stock market and what's happening. We want to get you in. It is Money Smart Week, time, year, day. We're doing it 24/7, 365. This is the Millionaires Roundtable. Follow me at Lynn Richardson. Follow her at MC Light. Go to asklynn.org. Join the Homebuyers Club. Get in a class. Join the Entrepreneurs Academy. Take yourself to the next level. You know what? We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.